Let's start with the neck. So if you clasp the left elbow from behind, drop the shoulders down, and let's drop the right head to the right shoulder. So the more we reach for the floor with those fingers, obviously the deeper the stretch will get down the side of the neck. You soften the jaw, and we can gently drop the head forwards and backwards, and just looking for that juicy spot where we're getting a little bit of a stretch without overdoing it. So both shoulders relax and down, the jaw soft. That lull to the side, no forcing. To come up, no sudden movements. Support the head back up to the front, shrug the shoulders over to the other side. So we're just pulling the arm down a little bit to deepen the stretch, a little bit of a lean, ear to shoulder, chest open. You can close the eyes just for a second or two. A little bit of a dip down with the chin and backwards. Always a nice soft jaw, just taking on board any sensations we're feeling there. And then slowly supporting the head back up to upright. Let's give ourselves a big hug, wrapping the fingers as far around, maybe even round the crest of the shoulder blades there. Start with the chin to the chest, then softening the knees. And again, we're looking for sensations. We'll have tightness in different areas. So as you soften the knees, start to roll down through the spine. And stop when you get to whatever feelings you feel you could breathe into a little bit. So we do need to bend the knees into this fold so that we can keep our target focus area as the spine, which obviously includes the neck. Couple of breaths, maybe sinking a little bit deeper, maybe to come up, you zigzag your way up just to take that stretch into the sides of the spine. At the top, rolling the shoulders back and down, cactus arms all the way, a nice big yawn, we'll clasp the hands behind the back. This is your counter, chest wide open, soft jaw, and if it's okay for your neck, slowly dropping the head back. We lift the hands away from the bottom, cracking one up between the shoulder blades, open across the chest, stretching the front of the throat. Release the hands and slowly come center. Let's, with the arms, palms facing upwards, reach up until you can't go any further. Now, rare occasion, I'm letting you flare the ribs, but press into the floor and stretch up to the ceiling with the fingertips. You can lift one heel at a time to stretch across that oppositional stretch into the fingertips. And then we're circling down the arms, so shoulders back and down, spin the palms to face down, reach behind your back, and let's just go again. Chin to chest, palms forwards, these offering hands all the way up to the ceiling, a little bit of a back bend. So we're not going to talk about the thoracic spine. Let's now try and take the strain out of the lower back and the upper back, leaning back, and then following through with the arms, shoulders back. This time, take the right arm across the body, supporting from underneath, and gently pull to work on the deltoid tongue. Pulling back through the shoulder, forwards through. Nice strong clasp of the biceps here. Stretching the fingertips first wide, and then making a fist and circling. A couple of times in each direction. And then to the other side. A little swing. Take the arm across the body, hold and gently pull. Find space, stretch the fingers wide, the skin across the palm, and then a fist and circle. No particular theme today, except let's be aware of the out breath. When we exhale, that of course can be completely passive and have no effort at all. Otherwise, if we think about a strong exhalation, we're actually using 89 muscles of the body. So that's like 14% of the body's muscles. So we're being a little bit more active with the exhalation. So let's try and bear that in mind. We're going to take a side stretch now, so feet hip distance apart, shoulders back and down. Let's first of all keep the legs straight and dipping down. So as if you're gliding against a wall behind us, keeping the the back of the head in line with the back of the pelvis. When you can go no further, slightly bend the knees, sink a little bit lower, taking the stretch a little bit further, deep on the side of the body, and then final, pressing into the floor and up to the ceiling through the hands, stretch wide, wide wingspan across the arms, lower and reset. So initially straight legs, just a straightforward side bend, maybe getting some sensations in the outer hip, allowing the side body as we bend, taking a little bit deeper. And the final, stretch the arms out wide, and that lovely opening in the side of the waist. Lovely. And slowly come up. Taking the idea of a side bend a little bit deeper, legs wide, triangle, reverse triangle, left toes point to the left wall. Right heel, lift it, and just send it a little bit further away. So we dial that right hip immediately down. Left fingertips, the webbing into the crease at the top of the leg, and send the hips towards the right. We're bringing in a thigh stretch, and let's come into our triangle. So we're still thinking about a side bend, we're just taking it in a different way. Let's protect the knee by pressing the hand into the shin into the hand. Beyond the triangle, now see if you can reach the arm all the way over the ear. So just see where you get to, just to feel that maximum stretch. And we're pausing there just for a few seconds, just to feel. You see there's a little bit of give, the seconds go by, a little bit more give, a little bit more give. And then a reverse triangle, so the legs are going to stay straight. So we reset, hand on the back leg. Let's turn the front palm to face upwards, strong through the legs, and start to find a stretch in the other side of the waist. Reaching into the fingertips, and again, just allowing a little bit more give, just by breathing, watching, feeling. And then lower the arm. Let's take that to the other side. So change the feet, right toes to the right, and let's lift this left heel and send it a little bit further away, dialing the hip down. Webbing the front fingers into the crease at the top of the leg, and let's slowly adjust. So if you're finding your knee, we can take the full triangle with fingertips towards the floor. But make sure you've activated the calf muscles. So maybe start by pressing the shin into the hand. Keep that activation and then release. But then with this top arm, we can maybe take that stretch a little bit deeper so the fingertips right down to the left little toe is getting a good stretch. Keeping the chest wide open, reaching all the way overhead. And release down and curl up. Let's take both knees out wide, toes pointing out, hands on the thighs, and taking a little bit of a side to side stretch. Opposite shoulder to knee. Just getting that work into the shoulder blades. Let's have one more each side. Now when we go back to thinking about the breath, we can just let the carbon dioxide leave the body, or we can use all of those extra muscles. As we engage the abdominal muscles, we're pushing the organs, everything up into the diaphragm, helping to expel those gases we don't need. We're taking a roll down, but with legs twisted. So let's place the right foot over the left, and we're rolling down through the spine. So we have that protection of the knees and pressing against each other. And we roll down. I quite like to zigzag my way down, because often it's just on the sides of the muscles and really holding a little bit of tension, which needs a little bit of nurturing in order to let go. We're pausing that forward fold. Doesn't matter how far you go, as long as you're experiencing sensations. If it's a little bit deep, give the backs of the body a little bit of a massage. Now press your back knee into the front knee, engage your core and roll your way up. And at the top, rolling the shoulders back and down. Let's just take that to the other side. Crossing the legs, so engaging, so squeezing the thighs together, the knees against each other, and let's melt down. So it's like you're peeling yourself off the wall. So the back of the body, we're finding release. We need a little bit of engagement in the core to help us get that control, articulation through the spine, moving into hamstring stretch and fold. So all the benefits of an inversion here, nice rush of blood to the head, but it's a hot day here, so be kind and gentle, engage and very slowly we'll rebuild the spine. Let the top rolling the shoulders back and down, and let's stand tall. A twisted butterfly. So we'll take this in stages. We'll go for the abs, a hip stretch here. So if we stand to the right, you step wide, step in front and lunge into that front leg. Pause and look at that straight back leg, and you'll start to get a stretch in the outer hip. So let's just work with that initially. Standing wide, across, front knee bends, back leg straight, and the big toe side can lift, because I'm looking for a stretch in the outer hip. So the big toe side, you can roll onto the knife edge of the foot. Now, if this is fine and balance is fine, and you feel you can get a little bit more of a stretch, we can then fold and reach for the ankle. So you'll feel the inner thighs squeezing together. We're going slowly, as I say, it's really hot. And we're going for a mindful movement, swiveling, taking that twist and folding. If that's needed, you might be getting a perfectly good outer leg stretch. We're twisting the spine, so many benefits without going further. So I'm spinning onto the little toe side. So being a little bit more mindful if you've got any niggles in the knee, just being careful we're not straining there. Let's say another 2 sets side to side, just feeding your way in, just know how many you're working through so you can pace yourself how far, how deeply you have a go at this, but not straining. Back to the breath. So we'll have more control in the core if we get that Ujjayi breath. Think about ocean breath. And now maybe knowing that you're using 14% of the muscles of the body just by energetically exhaling those useless gases from the body. Engage. I might encourage you to go a little bit more into a focus on the out breath. Last time each side. So here maybe upright, because even hands on the hips, we can lean and feel a little bit of a stretch in the outer hip. Last side, or even yourself out left and right. Let's just feel and enjoy. Amazing. Standing sore. I'm not going to come down to the mat. So before we do that, let's just kick back. And with the standing sore again, it's a twist of the body, a stretch from the back of the legs. It's not important how far we go. So let's have the toes turned out and we'll just feel our way through the first. So we'll start with the arms out wide. We start to twist towards that left ankle, but this first time, hold the thigh, squeeze all the way down past the knee towards the ankle part of the head, and then immediately up the leg and open wide. So we can stick with this. We're nurturing the leg, we're feeling our way into that twist, an inversion, hamstring stretch. Here, reset for the posture. If you feel you want to be a little bit more vigorous, we reach the back of the hand down the leg and we'll open for maybe even a little pulse. And more energetically open, but here a nice reset always at the top. So find somewhere along that line between nurturing the legs and a little bit more of a vigorous reach and open, reach, open, because you can feel they have as many benefits, they're just slightly different. Finding that control in the movement side to side, you're really working how much you're stabilized as you're having to engage to go at some slower pace. So that's wonderful. Last time each side, and then I'm going to adjust the camera down a little bit and we'll meet on all fours. So you finish last side, and I'm going to change the angle down a little bit. So you can take a roll down to come onto all fours. Maybe you're already there. And I don't blame you. All right, from all fours, let's dive straight into cat-cow. Nice alignment, shoulders over the wrists, Separate the feet, tops of the feet into the floor, breathe in. Now back to that idea of an energetic exhalation. Chin to chest, close the front legs, upper abdominals, lower abdominals, spine, everything engaged, press into the floor, separate the shoulder blades. One more time. Breathe in deeply, and then fully exhale. We lift the right knee and we're circling the hips so it comes slightly across the body, out to the side, drawing a big arc up and over like you're cocking the leg, the tree, and again. If you can keep the arms straight, very tempting to bend, but just spreading the weight over the hands. This will force the stabilizers in the body to kick into action. The other way, so opening back, side and forwards. Last time. And knee down, straight to the other side. Take the knee across the body, open wide. Again, just notice the spread of weight on the hands. Let's try and keep the back of the neck long. It's the second side, so you don't need to crane your neck to look at me. You're doing perfectly well. Let's take those circles in the other direction. Feel that you're exploring, not pushing. There's nothing aggressive about this movement. Beautiful. Knee down, left foot forwards. Let's just take a hip flexor stretch, hands on the back of the body and lean. Guide the hips forwards and down. Because it's only briefly that we're holding this, it's okay just for a short period of time for the knee to come over the ankle. It's actually quite a nice way to get a stretch into the Achilles tendon. But no forcing. If you have blocks, you can hold here to reduce the stretch. And then last of all, hamstring stretch or other Hanumanasana, half splits, fold. This is the last bit of yoga. We're pretty much on to classic Pilates after this. Let's swap legs. Your other leg, plant the foot, support the lower back and lunge forwards. So target area, hip flexors. Try and draw the elbows together behind the back. Tailbone tucks down towards the earth. Breathing deeply, energetically exhaling, and we stretch the back of the leg. So this is where it would be handy if you had a strap, or it's just a nice way of looking at this. We'll have the legs out in front, and I do it with and without the strap. So initially with the strap, if it's not right at the top of the shoulders, but a little bit lower down, and we stretch the arms out wide, so that when we take a twist, we still keep the same openness across the chest. This time let's have the big toes together, knees together, so we squeeze the legs together, turning the inner legs. Deep breath in, as long and tall as you can along the spine, breathing out and stretching to the side. So we get that sensory feedback of the strap on the back of the body, and we keep the arms open wide. So let's go side to side. Another thing that works here is a pole. If you have a broom, you can take the end off. So we're going side to side. So your energetic exhalation will really help here as we take that twist. Then right to the end of the exhalation, use all of those, think 89 muscles, all engaged, all help me take this twist before resetting center. So squeeze the legs together, long through the spine, flesh your peach under the chin. Let's see if we can turn the head at the same rate as the sternum. The head should turn a little bit more, but let's avoid straining and just have that awareness of the swiveling without losing height along the spine. Last set. Really sitting tall on the sit bones, sometimes sitting on a block. Here is a good idea, just to help a slight forward tilt of the pelvis. And then shrug out. Okay, I'm going to layer on here. So let's first of all do 6 spine stretches, legs out in front again, arms parallel to the floor. Take a deep breath in, let's squeeze the legs, squeeze your buns, and as you breathe out energetically, reach your toes with control, sitting up tall. And breathing out. Expel the air, reach beyond the fingertips and reset. So the head is dipping down, so it's a nice smooth curve into the neck. If you have niggles in the knees, you can put a cushion under the knees here. You'll still get a lovely stretch to the back of the body. Nearly there. Let's go to the roll back and roll up. So here, make sure you have space to roll back. One vertebra at a time. By now, I think you know the options. The knees can be bent. We can hold on to the thighs. One vertebra at a time. We have that pelvic tilt. We're tucking under, rolling back, and immediately chin to chest. Looking at your toes, holding fabric. Take whatever help you need to roll back up. 5 more. So feeling one vertebra at a time. You can feel those spiny processes along the spine, contacting the mat, rolling up. Now, I always like to give you options if you want to stay upright. It's a C curve, all the same muscles activating and resetting tall. After this, we take a bridge with a leg lift. If you're working on alignment of the legs for the benefit of your hips, knees, ankles, we're hip distance apart. Otherwise, you could squeeze the legs together. This will equally be good for the knees because you're working strengthening the inner thighs. Also a little bit of extra strength by squeezing the legs together. This time when we roll back, we'll start to add on a little bend in the knees, ready for a bridge setup. Keep going, rolling through the spine, lifting the hips all the way to the top, pause. Now, without turning your head, trust that you know, hold your hips with your hands and see if we can extend the right leg up to the ceiling. Lower the right leg so it's the thighs parallel to the left thigh, and then reset the leg down. Other leg. Extend the left leg up to the ceiling or towards the ceiling, hips are level, lower the leg, thighs parallel, and then return, rolling down through the spine. So I always want to avoid rolling ahead when we're in that lifted position. We roll up through the spine, chin to chest, and we're going straight into a spine stretch, reaching forward beyond the toes, and then rolling back. So the same thing, reminder, as we get close to the bottom, the knees will start to bend because we go straight into that movement through the spine, chest lifts up to the chin, hold the hips. This is just the feedback so that we know the hips stay level. Extend the right leg, lower the right leg, get that lovely stretch into the toes, other side, left leg as far up to the ceiling as you can. So feel that lift in the hips, but they stay square. That 45-degree angle as we lower the leg and reset. Replace the spine one vertebra at a time. So to extend the legs or hold onto the thighs to roll up. Spine stretch, breathing out and melting forward. Rolling back, this is the last time, and then we're moving on. The nice continuous movement, really nice when we start to link postures. It means that we have a light engagement throughout. So we're going to extend. Feel free to take out the leg lifts. You can do another 2 sets by removing this element of lifting the legs. Rolling down through the spine. Rolling up the last time. And the last spine stretch, and then we'll be rolling back and hooking the knees into the chest. Fabulous. All the way back. A tight squeeze. Sometimes we just slide half-heartedly hug in. Really squeeze, press the calf muscles into the thighs, maybe roll the nose up to the knees and a little bit of a rock side to side. Like in yoga, they call this the cosmic egg. Okay. Single leg stretch. Hold the head in the hands. Neck niggles, leave the head on the floor. So single leg stretch is literally what it says. We'll extend one leg. And then keeping the tailbone tucked, we'll switch to the other leg. Now the classic Yoga Pilates single leg stretch encourages a curl up, and we hold the knee with the opposite hand and the ankle with the same hand. My issue with this is, from seeing so many students do this, sometimes this takes the knee out of alignment. Only take this classic hold of the bent leg if it keeps your ankle, knee and hip in a line, because that's what we're working on here. Obviously, you might get a gentle stretch release to the hip flexors of the extended leg. We're working on the abdominals if we have this curl up. Even if you haven't, actually, you're going to be working the abdominals, shoulders down. We're stretching, we're assisting this hip flexion of the bent leg. So there's a lot happening. But how the knee's drawn in, entirely up to you. But the heel should come into the belly of the top of the hamstrings there. Let's have another 2 sets, we're nearly there. We're going to then take the double leg stretch. So while you carry on with those, let me just give you a reminder of the double leg stretch. So we'll start with the knees into the chest, the hands towards the little toes. We'll extend away from the center point, circle the arms wide and back to return to our starting point. Neck niggles, leave your head on the floor. So we're working with the shoulder joint, the legs, the core. We only extend the legs and lower them to the point where we can still keep the tailbone tucked. So this is a great way now that the body knows what it's doing to work and focus on that energetic exhalation. See if you can draw the front ribs together, navel to spine. Feel as though the diaphragm's lifting to help empty the lungs. If your head's on the floor, let's keep a nice long line at the back of the neck. So if you need to elevate the head slightly on a block, on a cushion, that's great. If we're adding a curl up, we can lift the hips, lift the upper body and load onto the core a little bit more. You're doing well, it's hot. You can return to your cosmic egg at any point. So the lower the legs, the more challenging it is to keep that tuck. Last 2, deep breath in, and then we'll take a lovely spinal twist. So as this is the last one, maybe challenge yourself, just find where's the edge, how far can you go, challenge, 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 and then hug the knees into the chest and have a lovely rock on the spine. To take our twist, there are again levels that we can go into. We start with the knees into the chest and you see the arms out wide. If we lower the knees to the left, we can then hold the top knee with the hand. Option here, the lower knee, you can glide it over to the right so the knees separate. Can you feel that? And a further option is the lower leg, you can find the ankle with your right hand. The cat holding its tail. Now these are only options. Your target area is the spinal twist to release any tension from those abdominal exercises. And it can actually almost be nicer for the chest opening here to just extend the right arm out, palm facing upwards. If it's too much pressure, too deep the twist, holding the top knee, release it and have both arms in a wide T. Breathing deeply, and even here we can go right to the end of the exhalation. Close the ribs, navel to spine, and this will be lovely for the lower back. Enjoy one more breath. And then we'll draw the knees back in line, stacked into the chest. And we'll reset for the other side, knees to the right. Option to hold the top knee. Further option to separate the knees, so scissoring open the legs, and maybe by knee and toeing the bottom leg along the floor to the left. Maybe we can find the ankle, but it's really not our primary focus. So in a wide T with the arms, if that feels nicer. If we feel supported, we're more likely to relax into the twist and gain more benefits. So at least for 2 breaths, have a go at an energetic exhalation and just feel how much more engaged the body is, how much more supported the spine is. We also end up lengthening the out breath if we take time over it and we're conscious of the breath. Last breath on this side. And then you slowly draw the knees into a stacked position. Draw the knees into the chest. Have a last little rock on the spine. And your version for coming up, you can roll onto the side and push up to sitting. And then we're good to carry on with the rest of the day. Well